Hey guys, welcome back to the Destinations channel. I'm Sal Patera, and today we're going to talk about the upcoming Netflix special on the Poop Cruise. I'll be back to talk about it right after this. Welcome back and thanks for staying through the intro. If you're new to our channel, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and the little bell notification. That way YouTube will let you know every time we upload a brand new video. It's totally free for you and sure does mean the world to us. As I said before the intro, Netflix is coming out with a documentary on the Poop Cruise, where the Carnival Triumph had an engine fire back in February 7th, 2013, which left people high and dry on the high seas. Here's a little video we prepared to remind you of exactly what happened.
The Gulf of Mexico shimmered under a February sun. For the 3,143 passengers aboard the Carnival Triumph, it was meant to be a carefree escape. They had embarked from Galveston, Texas, anticipating a typical cruise experience. Few could have imagined the ordeal that awaited them. On Sunday, February 10th, 2013, while cruising off the coast of Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, an engine room fire erupted. Smoke began to seep into corridors. For passengers like Debbie Moyes, the alarm was raised by a fellow traveler. The fire, though eventually contained, severed the ship's main power source, plunging vast sections into darkness. The Carnival Triumph was suddenly adrift, a wounded giant at the mercy of the currents. The festive atmosphere evaporated, replaced by an unsettling quiet. The ship, once a symbol of luxury, was now a prison. The crew scrambled to manage the immediate crisis. Without electricity, the ship's systems began to shut down one by one. The passengers were about to confront the stark realities of being stranded on a crippled ship far from shore. With the main generators silenced by the fire, the Carnival Triumph was plunged into darkness. Emergency lights flickered in some corridors, but many areas became pitch black. Passengers stumbled through unfamiliar passageways. The loss of power was a fundamental shift, stripping away normalcy and exposing their vulnerability. The most immediate consequence was the failure of the sanitation systems. Toilets ceased to function across the ship. The crew distributed red plastic biohazard bags for passengers to use. Air conditioning also succumbed to the power failure, transforming the ship into a sweltering oven. Staterooms became unbearable, and passengers hauled mattresses to the upper decks. The lack of electricity extended to the galleys, making hot food scarce. Lines for food grew long and tense. Passengers were left with their thoughts, fears, and the company of thousands sharing the same miserable fate. The failure of the sanitation systems was the most degrading aspect of the ordeal. As days passed, conditions worsened exponentially. Passengers resorted to using red plastic bags, sinks, and showers. The smell became pervasive and inescapable. Sewage became a visible problem, with reports of human waste seeping down walls. The psychological impact of living in such filth was profound. The crew struggled to manage the escalating sanitation crisis. Concerns about health and disease began to surface. Deborah Knight expressed fear of eating the food provided, worried about contamination. The promise of a refreshing ocean getaway had been replaced by an unavoidable immersion in human waste. The extreme conditions aboard the Carnival Triumph frayed nerves and brought out a spectrum of human behaviors. In the initial chaos, moments of panic were undeniable. Debbie Moyes recounted seeing passengers hoarding food. Alongside panic, there were remarkable displays of patience and cooperation. Many passengers helped each other and shared information. The red plastic bags became a bizarre symbol of their collective plight. Morale fluctuated, with the lack of electricity forcing people to live in darkness. The constant heat, stench, and uncertainty weighed heavily on everyone. The 1,086 crew members faced an unprecedented challenge. Their initial response to the engine fire was crucial in preventing a greater catastrophe. They worked tirelessly to distribute food and water, clean overflowing toilets, and provide information. Passenger perceptions of the crew's efforts were varied, a mix of gratitude and frustration. The crew's resilience was critical in preventing a complete breakdown of order. However, the scale of the disaster meant that crew efforts often felt inadequate. The lines for food were long, and information was sometimes scarce. The strain began to show on everyone as the ordeal stretched into its final days. After 5 agonizing days adrift, the sight of land was a profound relief. The Carnival Triumph had to be towed to Mobile, Alabama. Each mile covered was a small victory, but the progress felt glacial. The docking marked the end of the at-sea ordeal. Disembarkation was a lengthy process, another test of patience. Deborah Knight expressed a desperate need for a hot shower and a Whataburger. Carnival chartered buses to transport passengers, but at least one bus broke down en route. The immediate aftermath was a whirlwind of media attention and reunions with family. The physical discomforts would eventually fade, but the psychological impact would linger. The trauma of being trapped in unsanitary, powerless conditions was not easily forgotten. In the wake of the disaster, Carnival announced a compensation package. Passengers received a full refund, a credit for a future cruise, and $500 in cash. For some, it was a reasonable gesture. For others, it felt insufficient. The incident cost Carnival approximately $80 million. The cruise from hell narrative severely damaged the cruise industry's image. News stories raised questions about safety standards. Legally, passengers seeking further damages faced an uphill battle. The Carnival Triumph disaster prompted reviews of safety protocols across the industry. For the passengers, the experience left an indelible mark. The tale of the Triumph remains a cautionary one, illustrating how quickly luxury can unravel when critical systems fail far from shore.
Yeah, that was the poop cruise. Let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. And don't forget to check out the Netflix special, which will premiere on June 28th. And as I said before, please make sure you subscribe to the channel before you go. Thanks for watching.